I'm going to talk to you about a very big trap in IELTS reading, and this has to do with the list of headings. Guys, here what you're supposed to do is match these points, these sentences, with each paragraph based on the heading or the main idea of each paragraph. Now, what is the secret strategy, the most popular strategy, something that every teacher is going to tell you? That is to read the first few lines, get the idea, because that's where the heading is, and then go and check the options. Let's see if that works, okay? So during the 15 and 1600s, two major figures helped move science into the modern age, Galileo and William Gilbert. Gilbert is considered the first true modern scientist. Okay. Got it. So these are the people who invented something, they moved something, and they're the first true modern scientists. That's the kind of idea I'm getting. And if I look at this list, something that matches exactly that paragraph is, guess what? 5, right? Founders who shaped the early stages of science. So far, just with that information, is this correct? The answer is yes, it is correct. That is the answer. Okay, well, that's easy, so I can do it again. Let's see if this works again. Gilbert was born before Galileo. He came from a respected family. So it's talking about Gilbert's birth and early childhood, which matches number 1. That is the answer. Gilbert's childhood and formative background. So yes, that was the answer, but it's not because it's in the first few lines. It's also because that is literally the main theme of the entire paragraph. So it's talking about he studied here, and after spending time traveling in Europe, he finally settled in London. So this is all about his initial life, and that's why it's the heading. We got lucky in both of these paragraphs that we found the answer too quick, but when this happens, this becomes a bad habit for us, and this becomes an addiction. It's not that simple always. Sometimes we've seen answers come here, sometimes the answers come from the end, and sometimes it's a mixture of multiple things. The most important thing is you retain the strategy of looking at the first few lines as an emergency backup. If you're running short on time, you can't read everything, do this. Sure, it will help with a lot of the answers, but don't rely on this as the main strategy. You gotta make sure you read everything, okay? The problem is here, if you read everything, you're taking too much time. So how do we overcome that? All right, we have to read things in a way where we skim through and just get the main idea. And this is simpler because it's a list of headings. It's not matching information, and we'll cover that in another video. So if you haven't already, please consider liking, sharing, and subscribing. This is 8Z Education's new channel on IELTS, and we're going to be uploading a lot of useful content. So with list of headings, you have the luxury of skimming through. For example, let's try paragraph C. Gilbert became a very successful, okay, so he became a big deal. Gotcha. He had achievements, he was elected, fine. Even Queen Elizabeth selected him for something, so it must be a big deal. He was later awarded something, he served until he died, and then Gilbert himself passed away after. Okay, so he passed away just a few months after. So this one looks like it's not relevant to this part. This part was more about his career, achievements, awards, and that's the main theme. And this is just additional information. But I got the main theme, right? Did it take long? No, I skimmed through it, I got the idea, and now I'm ready to go back and match. So what is the answer? What do you guys think? So Gilbert's childhood, we got that. Scientific approach, it's not something that was discussed. Advances in study, no. Challenging long-held beliefs, no. 5, we have done that. His rise in status and professional honor, that is correct. We were talking about his career and development. That may be the answer. Next, his appointment as a leader, so Royal Science Society, we did not see it. And by the way, words like Royal Science Society, you see RSS are capital. This is a title. Titles are specific keywords that cannot be paraphrased. So you will see exactly this term in the paragraphs. So that means it's easy to locate. If this was not mentioned, I can clearly ignore this as an answer. Gilbert's most influential writings and achievements could be achievements, but there were no writings mentioned. Breakthrough, that made it, no, there was nothing about magnetism either. How he shifted his interests. So shifted, that part is not mentioned. Finally, this was the answer we selected, and this still makes the most sense. One thing you noticed is This time I looked at all the options and then picked one. I didn't just look at one option and stopped and said, okay, that's better. I did that previously just to show you that was the answer. But sometimes you look at one answer, it fits. Don't answer it right away. Hold on, see something else, because something else might be better than the selected option. So make sure you read everything, and in the end, when nothing matches, the initial thing that you selected is likely the correct answer. Now, my question for you is, because this one is a very difficult task, check out paragraph D, pause the video or take a screenshot, and try to answer. This is paragraph D, and these are the questions. What is the correct answer? Comment down below. I will let you know if you got this right or wrong. And if you have any questions at all, feel free to comment. Please consider liking, sharing, and subscribing. And you're going to be getting a lot of useful IELTS content in the days to come. Take care.